Well, it's very difficult to discern who would take a leadership position on that, essentially. You know, what we saw with this defeat yesterday, where 17 of Theresa May's lawmakers voted against the government on this amendment put forward by the former Attorney General, was this idea that there is no clear majority for Theresa May's deal. But as you say, Steve, what the majority is and the deal that people would get behind, as you say, not at all clear. What's worth pointing out is that there were 20 Conservative lawmakers the day before, again, voting against the government, and that was to do with limiting the flexibility of the government when it comes to spending in the event of a no-deal scenario. Labour, as you might expect, trying to make hay out of all of this. And these are the comments from Keir Starmer, their point person on Brexit.
If the Prime Minister attempts a no-deal Brexit, we will fight her tooth and nail every inch of the way. Mr. Speaker, every member of this House has a solemn duty to consider the deal before us, not the deal the Prime Minister pretends to have negotiated or promises to change between now and when we go through the lobbies, but the text before us. Labour is clear the deal is not in the national interest. It doesn't come anywhere near meeting our tests. It will make the country poorer and more divided. It won't protect jobs in the economy. And I say that with sadness, because I've shadowed 3 different Brexit secretaries, and to now have a deal that so demonstrably is not uniting the country or able to command the support of this House is a tragic waste of the 2 years available for negotiations and a miserable end to this part of the process. We will have to vote on it next Tuesday. After that, it will be time for this House to decide what happens next.
Now, Keir Starmer also said that it now looks almost inevitable that Article 50 will have to be extended while Parliament decides what it is they're trying to do. Labour, of course, their official position is they would like to see a general election to try and break this deadlock. And actually, Jeremy Corbyn's going to be giving a speech in the north of England later today. We've got some pre-released elements of that speech in which he's going to say, if the government cannot pass its most important legislation, then there must be a general election at the earliest opportunity. We've heard that before. A government that cannot get its business through the House of Commons is no government at all. And that's quite stinging criticism of Theresa May, but also a reflection of the reality here. She's been making some fresh concessions to try and win over wavering members of Parliament to her version of Brexit. What she's offered to the DUP, her governing partners, essentially is the right of the Northern Irish Assembly, which has not been sitting for 2 years, I should add, the ability to veto elements of the Northern Irish backstop they're not happy about. The DUP doesn't seem to have gone for that so far. She's also said, and this is very important, that Parliament will be given an option to vote against the implementation of that backstop, as well as a possible extension of the transition period after March 29th, once we go into the transition period for around 20 months. That could be very, very difficult for Brussels to swallow, because, of course, they will see that as undermining the EU withdrawal agreement that's been drawn up. They're refusing to open up to further negotiation, and they're expecting now for the British government to pass through Parliament. There was another amendment I should just bring to you about that, and this is what Theresa May said on that amendment.
We've also been looking at how Parliament can take a greater role as we take these negotiations on to the next stage. And so I can tell the House that in the event that our future relationship or alternative arrangements are not ready by the end of 2020, Parliament will have a vote on whether to seek to extend the implementation period or bring the backstop into effect.
And Steve, essentially, there's no point having a backstop if the government is then going to give Parliament the ability to veto it. So that will be something that the Irish government have made very clear they're not thrilled about, just as they're not happy about the idea that DUP might have veto power over one element of this backstop.
Hi, I'm Joanna Bersecci, and thank you for watching. You can check out more of our videos by clicking on the boxes on the screen. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more from CNBC International. Thank you for watching.